spent nearly a week in a coma on a ventilator, becoming an incredible story of survival, finally leaving the hospital to rejoin his family at home.
I'm blessed to be alive. I'm thankful every day to God that he gave me the second opportunity.
As new infections explode in Louisiana, officials in some areas say they have more cases per capita than any other state. But the governor of Michigan, where more than 20,000 are sick, also calls their situation dire. In Detroit alone, the Henry Ford Health System already diagnosing more than 4,100 coronavirus patients. The average hospital stay, 6.5 days, while in the ICU, the most critical patients spend over a week.
The number of deaths has increased and will continue to increase.
With long lines outside food banks around the country, several cities are rolling out new precautions to keep shoppers and workers safe after a handful of supermarket employees died from the virus. In some areas, orders to stay home and social distancing appear to be working, lowering the projected national death toll.
And it looks more like the 60,000 than the 100 to 200,000. But having said that, we better be careful that we don't say, okay, we're doing so well, we could pull back.
Encouraging signs amid the crisis, giving so many reason to cheer. In Arkansas, a standing ovation for David Williams, who spent days on a ventilator and is now reunited with family, heading home. Across the country, Angela Primachenko was diagnosed with the virus 33 weeks into her pregnancy. In a coma for 2 days, her labor was induced.
We're absolutely terrified. It was so scary. I wouldn't want anyone to go through that.
Today, her sister says she'll meet her healthy newborn baby, Ava, for the first time on FaceTime.
The darkest nights could turn into the brightest days if we just keep going.
It's another good reminder there are so many stories of survival out there. Meantime, here in Los Angeles, the mayor says at park entrances all across the city, uniformed police officers will be standing guard to make sure there are no large gatherings ahead of this Easter weekend. He says the city cannot afford any new clusters of coronavirus cases. Lester?
Yes, so much hope out there tonight, but we all have to stay engaged. Thank you, Miguel. There is particular worry tonight about Americans living in nursing homes. Their families now in constant fear as the virus sweeps through many facilities. Here's Katie Beck.
Meg Medina lives just 2 miles from her 87-year-old Aunt Isa's nursing home. But right now, she couldn't feel further away from her.
I know that staying away from her is the best thing to do, the safest thing to do, but right now when you see all the death going on around her and the illness going on around her, it doesn't feel safe.
Her aunt, a resident at the Canterbury Rehabilitation and Healthcare Center in Virginia, where an ongoing outbreak has claimed the lives of 39 residents, a third of all COVID-19 fatalities in the state.
They're doing everything that they can to keep these individuals safe.
Canterbury says the care of these loved ones is our primary focus.
Well, I am holding my breath because my aunt is one of the few people at the center who's tested negative.
But 80 other residents here and 25 healthcare workers have tested positive for COVID-19, a growing hotspot scenario that's plaguing nursing homes and care facilities across the country.
After outbreaks at 21 facilities across North Carolina, the governor ordering new restrictions on nursing homes and care facilities. And at this veterans home in New Jersey, help from the National Guard after reporting 37 COVID-19 related deaths. 6 more fatalities at this rehab center in California. Precious Turner's uncle is also at the Canterbury facility. She praises the staff, but worries for her uncle, who has brain damage and tested positive.
I'm just thinking about how lonely he is right now, not being able to have family around.
An anxious time for families with restricted contact to their elderly loved ones.
When all of this is over and you finally do get to see her, what will you tell her?
I just want to sit with her and just be with her and just make sure she knows how much we love her.
Katie Beck, NBC News, Richmond, Virginia.